I'm Ritwika Ghosh and I will talk about the topic how RBI saved the Indian banking system from an imminent crisis. So in 2023, we have noticed that many big banks like Credit Suisse, Signature Bank, and Silicon Valley Bank were facing a crisis. Our banks were not affected. In fact, our banks were growing at a staggering rate, and 2023 was one of the most profitable years for the Indian banking sector. So our banks were not this robust and resilient before. In fact, in 2018, India was going through a banking crisis which started with Punjab National Bank. This was happening because of the rising amount of non-performing assets in the banking system. In 2005, the percentage of NPAs was less than 5%, which had shot up to around 15% in 2018. So, what did the RBI do to to help India and alleviate this problem? So, so this crisis happened because the banks were able to misuse a rule uh, 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 called uh, called the asset quality forbearance, and they did not classify the NPAs as substandard loans and kept lending more and more money. So RBI brought about the following reforms. First of all, the Indian government and the banks together had put around 3.19 trillion rupees in the funds to keep from 2016 to 2018 to keep the banks afloat. They merged a lot of weak public sector banks with the stronger banks, so which reduced the number of public sector banks in India from 27 in 2017 to 12 in 2024, so that the banks can pool their resources and operate with better efficiency. And third is they introduced a framework called PCA, which is prompt corrective action, which makes guidelines based on the bank's financial health indicators like asset quality, leverage, and capital ratio. And finally, in India, implemented the Basel III uh, framework, which took 6 long years to fully implement from 2013 to 2019. So these are a set of international rules that tells a bank how strong and high their safety walls should be. And RBI follows a double layer protection for banks, which means that the standards are higher than the Basel III recommendation, so that banks do not fail. So the banks that failed in the US did not have this framework. So in 2022, when all other banks were failing and having and facing a crisis, our banks performed incredibly well. Thank you.